Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to talk to you today at ISE, and especially also for the talent acknowledgement. Thank you very much. So today I'm basically going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about the talent. I'm going to talk about the most important thing about talent, which is humans. Slightly different versions of humans. The most important thing about humans, or the most important thing in the world is basically people, you. And that works well in both worlds, the real world and the metaverse. I'm going to talk a little bit about the metaverse as well. Especially, I'm going to give you my vision of what the metaverse is. So with that, I'm going to start with basically very, very brief what Hyperreal is. Hyperreal is a company that we have started a couple of years ago. We are creating metaverse entertainment, and especially around exceptional talent. So you're going to see a little bit in a while what I mean by exceptional talent. We are a team of internationally recognized experts and professionals. Myself, I have over 30 years experience doing visual effects and immersive experiences. And we are a completely distributed team. We are in the West Coast of the US, in the East Coast in the US, and L'Empordà here in Catalonia. Actually, and in Asia too, we have people in Singapore. So we are a completely distributed company. And what makes us different is basically we have a radical new business model for digital humans and also cutting-edge technology. With that, I'm going to show you a video with some of the work that we've done, that you're probably familiar with the work that we've done and what we're doing now. And then I'm going to start with the presentation. I want to talk a little bit about the metaverse, because that's a kind of a buzzword that a lot of people talk about. And I have my version of it, or my vision of it, which is slightly different than what I've heard. So I first compiled a few short presentations of what the metaverse is. People talk about the metaverse as being this interconnected to the limitless virtual world. More than 5 billion people are already interconnected in the world, so that should be just an extension of that. An extension of our physical identities as well. It's been said that it's a digital twin of the physical world, so basically something that exists in a different reality. And in fact, the metaverse will define reality as we know it, and that's definitely something kind of a parallel universe. There's a lot of buzzwords in here. This is the best one, whatever you want it to be. I mean, I think the metaverse itself will be mostly user-defined and user-created. So, you decide what the metaverse will be. And, we talk about this now. It's like this is equivalent of like back in 1993 when I started my career. All the presentations we had to talk about what's the internet. Now we don't need to talk about what's the internet. Now we still have to talk about what's the metaverse. Very soon, hopefully, we won't. So another one that I like, and this is kind of a different perspective, for me, the metaverse is, it's all this content, but it's especially the new economy, the Web3, the blockchain economy. That's what I think makes the metaverse different. So for me, and this is my vision of it, there's basically two components of the metaverse. The first is content, obviously. Content, it's king. Content is what drives. And by content here, I mean the visual space, the virtual space itself. So 3D, immersive, persistent, interactive, social, curated, and user-generated, and decentralized. These are all the things that we are already doing, and we've been doing for over 30 years in terms of creating virtual spaces and virtual content. I highlight the avatars because that's what we're going to be talking next. So this is one component. There's another component which is, for me, is a lot more important in the metaverse, which is people, and specifically what people are and will be doing in the metaverse, which is exchanging value. And this is a key word here, value. And value in the more general sense. So value could be entertainment, value could be knowledge, education, attention. A lot of people buy NFTs just to brag about that they have an ape in their as their Twitter handle. All right, so that's value means different things to different people, and then there's this whole economy of digital assets that and that's getting more and more important. So that's for me what the key of the metaverse will be. So it's all this content, but then you can own part of this content. You can interact and get value out of it. Because most people talk about the metaverse, and the first thing you see is this virtual reality glasses, which is not the metaverse at all. I mean, that's just a portal. People will connect to the metaverse through a portal to access this content, and that's what's going to be the VR, the XR, the holographic displays whenever they are. There's still none much right there. But all this kind of content will have gateways and doors to it, and that's what you will have, just the glasses. This is not the metaverse. VR is not the metaverse. The metaverse is the content and is the exchange of value. So anyway, with that said, this is my definition of the metaverse, my current definition, I guess. So a persistent and user-defined virtual space where value is interchanged, and value is interchanged. I would say that's kind of an important aspect here. But anyway, with that out of the way, let me concentrate on basically what we do at Hyperreal and the kind of work that we've been doing. Let me introduce you to my business partner. This is Remington Scott. He's the CEO of Hyperreal. This is actually his digital version, what we call the Hyper model. And this is a highly detailed element of the, a completely fully, what we call a completely fully emotional digital human. So we can make them pretty much anything we want. We can make him talk, we can make him sing, we can make him talk. Anyway, this is just some of the work that we've been doing along the way before we got here. I'm going to go fast on this. So this is one of the projects I worked on, which was supervising some of the visual effects for the Spider-Man 2. That's when we first used the technology that we're using now for Hyperreal in production. So anyway. So that's more credits. OK, that's fine. So this is the important slide. So until now, digital humans obviously been in the business, and it's been in commercials and films for many years. But there's always one single use. So for instance, Will Smith, before the Oscars incident, he was like in 19, he was scanned 4 times for different projects. So there was every time the production company, the director, everybody had to start from scratch. What our vision is, let's do it completely different. Let's create basically a universal avatar. Let's create technology to make it easy for a talent to own their own hypermodel. So that's it's different than it was before, because before the talent itself could not do anything with this avatar. Now they can, because it's owned 100% by them, and they can decide what to do with it. And it's multi-platform, and it's always updated. So anyway, so that's the part of our business model. We do scans. We have a facility in LA where we scan people, and that's what we call the Gemini avatars, where we do a duplicate of a real person. We also work on making people younger, and also bringing people from the dead. So this is a shoot we did for Steve Madden last year, and this is basically just to show you some of the environment we have to capture. But after this is only the first step. After this, there's a bunch of our artists and AI algorithms that basically help us create these digital humans and give them expressivity and being part of the humanity, or transfer what we call the digital DNA. This is Fan Bingbing, we worked with her. She's an actress in China. We worked with her for the last 4 or 5 years. And this is her avatar. And she already had, her avatar has already started in 3 movies. So, you know, and they choose, in this case, she chose how she wanted to be seen. It's probably a little dark in this screen, but anyway. So yeah, that's her. This is a project that this has audio, this video. We just recently won the Webby Awards for this video. It was an immersive experience we created for Madison Beer, and it's a VR concert. So we created her, and then this was for Oculus and for TikTok. So you know, there's different ways to consume this kind of thing. So let's see if this has audio. Everything you see here is digital, 100% digital everything, except for voice, actually. You're always coming back, but your love's poison. So I think that I would rather just avoid it. I can't understand you, 'cause I don't speak boy, no. I don't speak boy. So that's just a piece of it. This is a different one we've created with Simon Fuller, producer Simon Fuller from American Idol fame. And this is basically a completely digital start from another planet based on a Swedish singer. And she started on her first video. It got like 50 million views or some insane number. She's digital, they are not. Feeling so alive. When the sky is falling down, down, all we do is jump, 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 jump. 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 All we do is So I'll show you a little bit how this was done and some of the process, and I'll talk over it. We basically have, in this case, obviously, she's about 30-something years old, but her avatar is 19. So her persona, the Alta B, is much younger than she is. So we captured her, we created animation, and then we created digital double. And then we went through different stages of lighting, and you know. And one of the things that we create is these micro expressions. This used to be a completely manual process that was done in the movies and still being done in the movies, which is basically a very, crafty kind of manual work. What we've done is we've taken some of these aspects of it and use the AI, different ways to create AI. To capture the micro expressions, the things that makes us human and the things that makes us different humans, and then we added those aspects to the digital human to get a much more emotional response. So this is Leo. Leo, there's unique individuals, and then these unique individuals basically have very limited time. So he has a lot of things to do, very little time, and they have this curve where it shows where they are on the top of their game. With our technology, we can basically extend their performance. We can basically make them, do things and speak different languages and connect with people all over the world in different places simultaneously. So that's one of the things that we are doing. In this case, this is Jackie Chan. This is his digital human. And Jackie Chan's digital human has already started in, I think it's 2 or 3 movies. And he can be shooting one scene, and then his avatar could be doing pickups or different shots on a different movie. So this way, he allows him to do a lot more interesting work and connect more with the public. Obviously, being a human has its limitations. So he's 80 years old now, so he cannot do the stunts that he used to do. And so in that sense, we also helped him. We got a grant from Epic, and we created his younger self. So now he has the option of, when there's a movie that wants to play, he has the option of deploying himself as the current age or as a younger self. And then, and as you can see, it's pretty good detailed. This is Paul McCartney. This also has audio. The latest video we've done with him and Beck. So these are not bad moves for an 80-year-old legend. So that's this is actually his younger self. This is him from when he was 20 or 30 years old, 25 years old, like the Beatles time. So we were able to recreate his likeness, and the voice is his. And so all of a sudden now he can reach a whole new generation with new videos and new content. People that were not used to seeing him as a young man or as a young talent. So that's another use of this technology. And there's many uses. So basically, we use hypermodels in advertisement, in social media. We have a lot of things that I was not able to show you today. Most of the work that we do is kind of a stealth mode. These are only the 3 projects that I showed you: Madison and him. And Alta B, these are the only public ones we have currently, but we are working on maybe 9 or 10 different projects that we've been working in different industries, and they're still kind of under hard NDA. So music videos, immersive experiences, all kinds of things, films, virtual worlds, and I'm very excited about digital assets as well. We are creating this whole thing of that goes way beyond what NFTs are and what, So we are doing a lot of things in terms of creating value in this metaverse that they can be used by this talent. We also align with this group called Monolith, because the way that we work, we use our technology, the digital humans, is very specific. So we only work with kind of studios that have certain capabilities. So we have aligned with Monolith that we basically create everything that has to do with the digital humans, and then everything else, visual effects, monsters, environments, everything else is part of our group as well through the Monolith group. So this is as I said, this is just a teaser of some of the things we're doing in terms of the NFTs. We think the NFTs, for instance, are not just collectibles. They are now, but they should be a lot more than collectibles. And we call them alive. We have this. We partnered with different companies to basically create value, digital value for this talent now and in the future, for future generations to enjoy. This is another example. This also has audio, if you want to turn it up a little bit. This is basically an application we've created where the hyper model of Madison can speak to you interactively, kind of a Siri or Alexa app, but full duplex communication and all kinds of different things like that. So that's just a sample of some of the things that we are doing around her And this is obviously something that it's controlled 100% by her. She owns the hypermodel. She can deploy her hypermodel for whatever she wants to do, and we just created it, and we have a percentage. Our business model is based on licensing this hypermodel. So every time that her hypermodel works, we get a percentage, and we also help in the production of this. So I think that was it. I made it short. Thanks a lot for your attention. I don't know exactly how we're going with time, but if we have time for some questions, or otherwise, I'll thank you.